You have felt it for as long as you can remember, that quiet distance between you and the rest of the world. Even when you stand in a room full of people, laughter echoing, conversations flowing, you sense it. You are present, but not fully understood. And it is not because you failed to explain yourself well enough. It is because you were never designed to be easily translated. You were marked before language could catch up with you. From childhood, you noticed it first. Teachers couldn't quite place you. Family members labeled you too sensitive, too intense, or too different. At work, you do your job with integrity. Yet promotions seem delayed, recognition inconsistent. You watch others advance through networking and shortcuts while you are pressed to grow through pressure. This is not coincidence. This is formation. There are people who are shaped by applause, and there are people shaped by fire. You belong to the second group. You wonder why conversations feel shallow, why gossip drains you, why compromise feels like suffocation. You wonder why you cannot celebrate what everyone else chases. It's because your spirit recognizes something counterfeit before your mind can articulate it. That discernment cost you belonging, but it preserved your calling. There was a moment, maybe recently, when you sat alone after a long day of work. Bills stacked on the table, messages left unanswered on your phone. You had done everything right, worked hard, stayed honest, showed up for others, yet the results didn't match the effort. In that quiet moment, a dangerous thought passed through your mind. What if I'm the problem? But hear this clearly: misunderstanding is not evidence of error. It is often evidence of assignment. God does not mark people loudly at first. He marks them deeply, and depth is invisible to those who live on the surface. This is why they still don't understand you. You speak from conviction in a world addicted to convenience. You move slowly in decisions others rush. You refuse to celebrate success that costs your soul. You walk away from relationships that drain your spirit even when loneliness scares you. That restraint confuses people who live by impulse. And sometimes, if you're honest, it confuses you too. You ask yourself why obedience feels heavier than rebellion seems for others. Why shortcuts never work for you. Why one small compromise brings unrest to your conscience while others sleep peacefully in disobedience. It's because you were entrusted with a sharper inner compass, and sharper tools require steadier hands. The weight you carry is not punishment, it is proof of trust. There is a scene forming even now, a future you can't yet fully see. You standing in clarity, not chaos. Providing for your family without anxiety, leading without ego, speaking without fear. But before that future arrives, there is a necessary season where your identity is stripped of applause. God hides his marked ones so they are not shaped by crowds but by truth. This is where hope enters, not vague hope, not religious slogans, but tangible hope. Imagine waking up without the need to explain yourself. Imagine peace in your finances because you learned discipline when others learned debt. Imagine your children or those you influence watching how you endured quietly and learning courage from your consistency. Imagine being trusted with responsibility not because you demanded it, but because your character survived obscurity. This is what they cannot see yet, but they will. There is a reason Scripture speaks directly to people like you. We are reminded through the writings of David in the Psalms, chapter 31, verse 19. Oh, how abundant is your goodness, which you have stored up for those who fear you, and worked for those who take refuge in you. Stored up, not handed out randomly, reserved. Right now, you are in the storage season, not the spotlight season. So let me ask you directly, no symbolism. No poetry will you keep honoring who you are even while being misunderstood. Because this is the dividing line. Many are chosen, but few agree to remain pure when validation is delayed. Few resist the urge to dilute themselves just to be accepted. Few trust that what is unseen today is being prepared for tomorrow. If this message is speaking to you, don't scroll past it. Take a moment. Like this message so it reaches others who feel unseen. Share it with someone who is quietly carrying more than they show. Subscribe to stay connected to this stream of truth. And at the end of this section, as a simple act of alignment, comment 77 not for superstition, but as a declaration that you choose endurance over explanation. You are not misunderstood by accident. You are marked on purpose. There is a subtle ache that follows you through familiar rooms. It shows up at family gatherings when everyone laughs at the same stories. Yet you feel strangely out of place. It surfaces at work when your ideas are heard but not truly received, acknowledged but not acted upon. You start to realize the misunderstanding isn't loud, it's quiet, persistent, and exhausting. And over time, it tempts you to interpret confusion as rejection. But confusion is not rejection. Confusion is distance between dimensions. The people around you are not evil, and many of them are not even unkind. They simply lack the framework to interpret who you are becoming. You speak from depth while they listen from habit. You make decisions based on long-term consequence while they move by short-term relief. When you choose restraint, they call it fear. When you choose solitude, they assume arrogance. When you refuse to celebrate what violates your spirit, they label you difficult. What they cannot see is that your no is often more costly than their yes. Consider a simple, everyday situation. You are offered a job opportunity, more money, more recognition, but something about it feels wrong. The culture rewards compromise. The expectations blur your boundaries. Everyone around you tells you it's a blessing, that you'd be foolish to refuse. You spend nights weighing it, not because you're indecisive, but because you are accountable to something deeper than approval. When you finally say no, confusion follows. Some pull away, some mock quietly, some stop calling. And suddenly the question presses in. Why does choosing integrity isolate me? Because integrity exposes hunger. Your presence, without effort, challenges others to examine the parts of themselves they've avoided. And rather than confront that discomfort, many choose to misunderstand you. It feels safer. Mislabeling requires less courage than reflection. This is where many marked ones break, not because of persecution, but because of misinterpretation. You want to be seen accurately. You want your heart understood. You replay conversations in your mind, wondering what you could have said differently. But clarity is not always possible when vision levels differ. You are not designed to be explained. You are designed to be revealed over time. There is a discipline forming in you now, the discipline of not correcting every false assumption. The discipline of letting silence do what arguments cannot. This restraint feels like loss, but it is actually authority being forged. You are learning when to speak and when to let fruit speak for you. Hope begins to take shape here, not as fantasy, but as trajectory. Picture a future moment. You are steady in who you are. The need to be understood has loosened its grip. You operate from peace, not pressure. Your finances stabilize because you refused shortcuts earlier. Your home becomes quieter, not because problems vanished, but because your inner life is no longer at war. The very people who once doubted you begin to trust your judgment, not because you defended yourself, but because time defended you. This is not imagined hope, it is patterned hope. The ancient words recorded in Romans chapter 8, verse 7, still echo today. The mind governed by the flesh is hostile to God. It does not submit to God's law, nor can it do so. Some misunderstandings are not relational, they are spiritual. Not everyone can perceive what is governed by obedience when their reference point is appetite. That truth can sting. It may force you to release the expectation that everyone will eventually get it. Some won't. And that does not diminish your worth or your path. So here is the direct question you must face. Without comfort or distraction, will you stop interpreting their confusion as a verdict on your value? Because the moment you answer yes, something shifts. The pressure eases. You no longer contort yourself for comprehension. You stop shrinking language, vision, or conviction to fit smaller containers. You begin to trust that alignment matters more than agreement. You are not walking away from people, you are walking toward clarity. And clarity always costs familiarity. You begin to notice strength returning in small ways. Decisions come faster. Sleep grows deeper. You stop rehearsing explanations that never land. Energy once spent defending yourself now builds skill, savings, and vision. This is maturity forming quietly, like roots expanding underground while nothing visible seems to move yet. Trust replaces urgency. Patience steadies breathing. Later, you will understand why timing mattered. The doors that stayed closed protected you from alliances that would have drained your future. What felt like delay was alignment. When movement finally comes, it will feel natural, not rushed, and you will recognize peace as confirmation. This calm assurance will guide your next brave steps forward. Before anyone understood the weight you carry. There was a moment in Scripture when even Jesus faced a burden no ordinary human strength could absorb. On the night before the cross, he stood knowing what was coming: betrayal, injustice, physical suffering, abandonment. The path ahead was unavoidable. No one could take it from him. No one could fully understand it. And yet, he did not run. He accepted a weight that exceeded human fairness because purpose demanded it. This is where your story quietly connects with his. You have been entrusted with weight others were never asked to carry. Not because you are flawless, but because you are formed for endurance. You have noticed it throughout your life, responsibilities arriving early, expectations stacking higher, little room for mistake, while others were allowed to experiment, fail loudly, and start over. You were expected to be stable, reliable, composed. At work, you are the one managers turn to when deadlines are tight and pressure is high. You may not hold the highest title, but when something critical must be handled correctly, it lands on your desk. When systems fail, you stay late. When others detach emotionally, you remain engaged. And slowly, without ceremony, weight accumulates. At home, it is similar. You are often the emotional anchor. When conflict rises, you de-escalate. When finances tighten, you calculate quietly. When others vent, you listen. Rarely does anyone ask who supports you. They assume you are fine because you have always been fine. Until some nights you are not. There are evenings when you sit in silence, phone face down, heart heavy, wondering why life seems to demand more from you than from others. You replay conversations. You question whether you are doing too much, giving too much, holding too much. You consider loosening your standards just to breathe. This is where many people drop their cross. Jesus felt this tension too. Not because he doubted his mission, but because weight is still weight, even when purpose is clear. Carrying something meaningful does not make it painless. Calling does not anesthetize fatigue. What separates you is not that you feel the pressure, but that you refuse to abandon what you are responsible for. This is not stubbornness, it is stewardship. There is danger here, though. Not the danger of collapse, but the danger of isolation. When you are always the strong one, people forget to ask how strong you feel. When you consistently deliver, people stop checking your limits. Over time, you may start believing you must carry everything alone. That belief is not strength, it is a silent trap. The hope for you is not escape from responsibility, but wisdom within it. Picture a version of your life a few years from now. You are still reliable but no longer overextended. You choose what you carry. You release what is not yours. Your finances improve not through luck, but through boundaries. Your work becomes more focused because you stop absorbing chaos meant for others. Your relationships stabilize because you stop confusing love with overfunctioning. You do not become lighter. You become stronger in the right places. This is what the weight has been training you for. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Isaiah, chapter 53 into verse 4. Surely he has borne our griefs and carried our sorrows. This verse is not distant theology. It tells you that God understands weight intimately. He does not dismiss it, he enters it. And because he carried what was unbearable, you are never asked to carry yours alone even when it feels that way. So here is the direct question you must face. Honestly and without performance, are you carrying this weight to prove your worth? Or because it was truly entrusted to you? That distinction changes everything. Some burdens are assignments, others are expectations you never agreed to. Learning the difference will save your future. If this message reflects your reality, leave a simple response below: I carry it. Not as pride, not as drama, but as acknowledgement. It means you recognize the weight, you respect it, and you are choosing to carry it with awareness rather than denial. You are not failing because you feel tired. You are becoming capable. And like Jesus, you are not defined by the heaviness of the load, but by the faithfulness with which you continue to walk forward under it. I carry it means you accept responsibility without drama, acknowledging the weight honestly, choosing awareness over denial, strength over avoidance, and commitment over quitting when pressure exposes character and purpose. It is not a boast or complaint. It signals maturity, boundaries, and faith, declaring you will carry only what is entrusted, release what is not, and walk forward steadily alone. There is a reason familiar spaces began to feel strangely hostile to you, even when no one openly attacked you. The room didn't change. The people didn't suddenly become cruel. What changed was you, or more precisely, what was growing inside you. Light has a way of unsettling rooms that learned how to live comfortably dim. You noticed it first in subtle ways. Conversations that once flowed now feel awkward. Jokes that used to amuse you now feel hollow. Values you assumed were shared quietly reveal themselves as negotiable to everyone except you. You start sensing tension where there was once ease, resistance where there was once warmth. And the most confusing part, these are your people, family, colleagues, longtime friends. This is where the pain sharpens. At home, you try to explain your choices, why you no longer chase certain goals, why you are stricter with money, why you don't tolerate the same behaviors anymore. You're not condemning anyone, but your clarity feels like criticism to those who benefit from ambiguity. So they push back, they tease, they minimize. Sometimes they accuse you of changing. At work, your integrity becomes inconvenient. You won't cut corners. You won't play politics. You won't pretend not to notice what everyone else ignores. Suddenly, opportunities dry up. Invitations stop coming. You are still respected, but from a distance. Familiar ground grows cold. It makes you question yourself. This path is right? Why does it feel so lonely? Because growth rearranges proximity. When light increases, shadows don't disappear quietly, they react. Not always with anger, but with discomfort. Your presence forces a choice: adapt or resist. And not everyone is ready to adapt. Here is a very ordinary situation that reveals something extraordinary. You sit at a family table, the same meal, the same chairs, but you feel like a visitor. The conversation revolves around complaints, shortcuts, blame. You listen, say little, eat quietly. No one is hostile. Yet something in you knows you no longer belong to this frequency, and you grieve it because belonging mattered to you. This grief is not weakness. It is evidence of love. But love does not require you to dim yourself to maintain access. This is where hope must become concrete, or you will mistake separation for loss. Picture your future again, not abstract, but specific. A home filled with calm, not chaos. Finances that breathe because you refused lifestyle inflation. Relationships that feel safe because honesty replaced performance. Work that aligns with conscience, even if it took longer to reach. The hostility of familiar spaces did not destroy you. It redirected you. You did not lose ground. You outgrew it. There is an ancient truth that explains this without accusation or blame. As Jesus himself declared in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 10, verse 34, "Do not suppose that I have come to bring peace to the earth. I did not come to bring peace, but a sword." This is not a call to conflict. It is a revelation that truth divides before it unites. The sword is not violence. It is clarity. And clarity cuts illusions cleanly. Isolation is one of the most misunderstood experiences in your life. Most people treat it as a warning sign, something to escape as quickly as possible. But for you, isolation keeps returning not as punishment, not as abandonment, but as an invitation. The problem is not that you are isolated, the problem is that no one ever taught you how to discern isolation. There are two kinds, and confusing them will either weaken you or train you. The first kind of isolation is draining. It shrinks you. It feeds rumination, comparison, self-doubt. You feel disconnected, restless, scrolling without focus, replaying conversations, questioning your worth. This kind of isolation pulls you inward but offers no structure. It consumes energy and gives nothing back. The second kind of isolation is formative. It sharpens you. It creates rhythm, not emptiness. You may still feel alone, but not scattered. There is space to think clearly, to hear yourself, to rebuild alignment. This kind of isolation does not collapse you. It organizes you. Your task is not to eliminate isolation, but to convert it. Here is a practical way to tell the difference in daily life. Ask yourself this: when I am alone, do I decay or do I clarify? If your habits deteriorate, sleep irregular, spending impulsive, discipline loose, that is not training isolation. That is emotional withdrawal. But if your habits stabilize, wake times consistent, finances tracked, thoughts written, body moved, that isolation is becoming a discipline. Consider a common situation. Your phone stays silent on a Friday night. No invitations, no plans. In draining isolation, that silence becomes accusation. No one wants me. In training isolation, that same silence becomes structure: a meal prepared intentionally, a walk without headphones, a journal opened, tomorrow planned. Same circumstance, different posture. Transformation begins with posture. You were not isolated to disappear. You were isolated to recalibrate. Here is another daily example: work. You may find yourself working independently while others collaborate, joke, socialize. Instead of resenting it, use it, build mastery, learn the systems others overlook. Develop skill quietly. Isolation at work, when approached intentionally, often produces authority later. People listen differently to those who did not need noise to become competent. Financially, isolation can become your greatest ally. Fewer social pressures mean fewer comparison-driven expenses. Use this season to budget honestly, eliminate debt, build reserves. While others spend to feel included, you invest to become stable. That stability will later serve not only you, but those who depend on you. Family isolation cuts differently. Sometimes you are emotionally alone even in a full house. Instead of fighting for validation, establish boundaries, reduce over-explaining. Speak clearly, briefly, calmly. Use the emotional space to strengthen yourself rather than pleading to be understood. Training isolation teaches you self-leadership before external leadership. None of this is accidental. As the prophet wrote in the scroll of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 3, "For the vision awaits an appointed time. It hastens to the end, it will not lie. If it seems slow, wait for it. It will surely come." Isolation often stretches time because it prepares capacity. Vision without capacity would crush you. So here is the direct practical shift you must make. Stop asking, "Why am I alone?" and start asking, "What am I being trained to do while alone?" Training isolation has rules. You limit inputs, less noise, fewer opinions, reduced consumption. You increase outputs, writing, planning, studying, physical movement. You keep promises to yourself, especially small ones. You treat solitude like a gym, not a prison. Some days will still feel heavy. Discipline does not erase emotion, but it channels it. You are no longer stuck inside your head, you are building something with your hands. Picture the future outcome. You re-enter rooms not desperate for connection, but grounded. You speak with clarity because you've thought deeply. You listen well because you are not hungry for attention. You choose relationships, not cling to them. Isolation did not make you awkward, it made you anchored. Here is the question you must answer honestly. Will you let isolation hollow you out, or will you let it hone you? If this section reframes something inside you, mark it intentionally. Comment 318 below, not as a ritual, but as a reminder. It signals that you are choosing to treat this season as training, not abandonment, a quiet agreement with yourself to use solitude wisely. Isolation is no longer something happening to you, it is something happening for you. The number 318 represents alignment through discipline. It marks a decision to organize your days, protect your focus, and train quietly while others rush noisily. It means you no longer interpret isolation as rejection, but as preparation for responsibility you will soon be trusted with. There comes a stage in your journey when noise no longer serves you. Not the noise of crowds, not the noise of proving, not even the noise of constant self-explanation. What replaces it is something quieter and far more unsettling to what opposes you. Silence, not emptiness, not withdrawal, but restraint chosen deliberately. This is the silence that confused people who expected reaction. The silence that disappointed those who wanted drama. The silence that unsettled those who relied on provoking you to feel powerful. You did not become silent because you had nothing to say. You became silent because you finally knew when not to speak. Earlier in your life, you tried to explain yourself. You defended intentions. You clarified misunderstandings. You believed that if people truly knew your heart, everything would resolve. But experience taught you otherwise. Some people do not want clarity, they want control. And explanation feeds control. So you stopped. Not abruptly, gradually. You answered less. You reacted slower. You let accusations pass without rebuttal. You let silence absorb what arguments never could. This felt risky at first, like surrender. But over time, you noticed something unexpected. Your silence did more than your words ever did. At work, when you stopped reacting to unfair criticism, the atmosphere shifted. Those who relied on your emotional response lost leverage. Your calm presence made others uneasy, not because you were passive, but because you were unreadable. You continued delivering quality, meeting deadlines, staying consistent. And without realizing it, people began to watch you differently. Respect grew quietly where approval never did. In your finances, silence took another form. You stopped announcing goals, you stopped explaining budgets, and you stopped competing. While others spoke loudly about plans, you built quietly. Savings accumulated, decisions improved, peace replaced impulse. Silence became a shield against comparison. In family dynamics, this silence was hardest. You wanted to correct narratives. You wanted to defend your choices, but you learned that some conversations do not heal, they entangle. So you chose restraint. You spoke when necessary. You disengaged when baited. Over time, the tension softened, not because they fully understood you, but because your steadiness removed friction. This is the silence that terrifies darkness, not because it is aggressive, but because it is anchored. Darkness feeds on reaction. It thrives on chaos, explanation, emotional exhaustion. When you stop supplying those, its power diminishes. Silence starves what depends on your response. This principle is ancient. The voice of God thundered in the book of Exodus, chapter 14, verse 14. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. Stillness here is not inactivity. It is strategic restraint, a refusal to engage on lower ground. You are learning this now. There is a daily situation where this lesson becomes practical. Someone misrepresents you. At work, a narrative circulates that isn't accurate. In family, a version of you is repeated that feels unfair. Online, silence feels like weakness because response is expected. Everything in you wants to correct it, but you pause, and in that pause, you ask a deeper question: will my words bring clarity? Or will they simply feed the cycle? This question changes outcomes. You are not silent because you are afraid. You are silent because you are disciplined. You are conserving energy for moments that matter. You are learning that not every battle deserves your voice. Hope becomes very real here. Imagine a future where your words carry weight precisely because you do not waste them. When you speak, people listen not because you dominate conversations, but because your voice is rare. Your presence alone stabilizes rooms. Your decisions are trusted because they are not impulsive. You are no longer drained by constant defense. Energy once spent reacting is now invested in building. This silence does not isolate you, it defines you. But let's be honest, this stage can feel lonely. When you stop reacting, some relationships fade. Not because you withdrew love, but because the connection depended on friction. Silence reveals which bonds were built on depth and which were built on drama. This is where many feel tempted to re-enter noise just to feel connected again. And here is the direct question you must face without comfort. Are you willing to let silence refine your circle as well as your character? Because silence does not only repel darkness, it filters relationships. You are not disappearing. You are consolidating. You are not losing influence. You are concentrating it. The restraint you practice now will protect you later when your voice carries more consequence than it does today. You are being trained not just to speak truth, but to steward it. Silence is no longer absence. It is authority, learning how to stand without explanation. There comes a moment when you stop asking to be understood and start walking fully as who you are. Not hardened, not superior, simply settled. You no longer scan rooms for permission. You no longer adjust your pace to keep others comfortable. You move with a quiet authority that comes only from surviving refinement without losing tenderness. This is what it means to step fully into the mark. You feel it in ordinary days first. You wake up without the old anxiety pressing your chest. Decisions don't paralyze you anymore, they clarify you. At work, you speak less but land stronger. At home, you are present without absorbing everyone else's emotions. With money, you plan instead of panic. With people, you choose instead of chase. Nothing dramatic happened. Everything solidified. You finally understand why explaining yourself never worked. You were never meant to be decoded. You were meant to be witnessed over time. And time has begun to tell the truth for you. There is a dignity that forms when you stop trying to prove your worth. You notice it when someone underestimates you and it no longer provokes reaction. You notice it when opportunities arrive without you forcing them. You notice it when peace becomes your default, not a reward. This is not isolation anymore, this is position. You are now standing where responsibility meets restraint, where confidence no longer needs volume, where humility and authority coexist without contradiction. There is a scene ahead of you again, not abstract but tangible. You mentoring someone quietly. You providing stability others lean on. You building something that lasts longer than applause. Your life becomes a reference point, not because you demanded attention, but because consistency is undeniable. This is what the mark was always for. The apostle reminds us in his letter to the Corinthians, chapter 2, verse 15. The spiritual person judges all things, but is himself to be judged by no one. This does not mean superiority. It means discernment without dependency. You see clearly, but you are no longer ruled by opinions. And now, the final question rises not as pressure, but as invitation. Will you walk crowned, or will you keep bowing to rooms you've already outgrown? Walking crowned does not mean isolation from humanity. It means alignment with purpose. It means you stop apologizing for clarity. You stop shrinking vision. You stop explaining boundaries to people who benefit from you having none. You move forward, and as you move, something gentle unfolds. Some who hear this message will simply pass by, like travelers glancing at a lit window. Others will slow down. Some will step closer to the warmth. A few will sit and listen longer. No one is chased. No one is measured. This space is not a stage, it is a hearth. If this message felt like a mirror, you may choose to place a quiet stone beside it that is your comment. A way of saying, I see myself here. If it felt like a compass, you may hand it to someone still lost, that is your share. And if it felt like a path worth walking, you may keep walking nearby, not out of obligation, but because direction matters. That is your choice to stay connected. Some will pause and press their hand against the glass, just a simple sign that the light reached them. That quiet touch is your like. Some will leave a mark in the dust beside the doorway, a short sentence to say I was here, and this mattered. Some will carry the flame onward into darker streets so others can see, and some will return again, not because they were asked, but because this place feels like direction. Nothing is demanded, nothing is counted, only recognition moves recognition. You were never meant to convince the world. You were meant to become unmistakable. And now you are. You will carry this readiness quietly into ordinary days, into conversations that no longer shake you, into decisions that once felt heavy but now feel clear. Preparation will reveal itself not as noise, but as steadiness others can lean on. When doubt returns, as it sometimes will, you won't panic. You'll remember how far you've come without applause. You'll trust the process that shaped you in silence. Knowing depth is built long before visibility arrives. And when the moment comes to step forward, you won't rush or hesitate. You'll move with calm conviction, recognizing the signal not by urgency, but by peace. That is how you'll know you are ready. You walk on without needing confirmation, grounded in truth, steady in purpose, carrying quiet confidence forward, knowing the mark upon you has finally found its time. And now there is nothing left to push, prove, or persuade. What remains is choice, but not the loud kind, the quiet, dignified kind, the kind that respects where you are and what you're ready to carry forward. If these words were useful, not because they impressed you, but because they steadied you, then let them travel, not as a broadcast, but as a gift. Pass gently to someone who may be standing where you once stood, uncertain, unseen, but still listening. You don't need to explain why you shared it. Those who need it will recognize it. And if these words were not for you, that is also enough. You don't need to reject the whole thing. Just keep what brushed against something real inside you. A sentence, a feeling, a reminder. Sometimes one small truth is all that's needed to recalibrate an entire season. Nothing here asks you to change who you are overnight. Nothing demands loyalty, agreement, or performance. This was never about convincing you of anything. It was about offering language to what you already sensed but perhaps couldn't name yet. You are free to walk away from this moment carrying only what fits. You are free to return later if something continues unfolding in you. You are free to let this be a quiet marker in time rather than a turning point you must dramatize. Growth doesn't always announce itself. Often, it simply continues. So take what nourishes you, release what doesn't, and keep moving at your pace in your direction with the steadiness you've earned. That is more than enough.